eBanqo's inbox. So I would now like to introduce to you those that will be doing justice to this topic. So let's meet our speakers. So first off, we have Mr. Charles Ademola, who is our head of operation. He'll be part of my very erudite speaking panel today. Charles, are you there? Can we see your face? Can we hear your voice?
Hello. Yeah, IT. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clear. Oh, there you are. There you are. There. All right. All right. Thank you, Charles. Thank you for joining.
Yeah,
Thank you for making out time. Next
thank
up,
you.
we have, I'm not going to say what I call him privately. So I'm going to just introduce Mr. Joshua Edigbe, Team Lead Front End Development for eBanqo. Josh, are you there? Can we hear you? Can we see your face?
Hello, hi.
Hi, Joshua.
Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you for taking out time to join this panel. And last but not the least is Miss Alaji. Yes, Alaji Kwadri Yusuf. He's our head of engineering at eBanqo. Alaji, are you there? Can we see your face? Can we hear your voice?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning.
Hi, good afternoon. Your voice is a little bit okay. I think that's better. That's a lot better. All right, cool. So together, this trial are going to be doing justice to this topic with me. I have the singular honor of having them here. It's a rare privilege because it's very, very difficult to get all these three people at the same time. So they sacrificed like an hour, 30 minutes from their time today to spare with us. So I will try and go through very, very quickly. So let me give us a little bit of some housekeeping before we go further. So this is the format of our session for today. I'm going to be asking some guided questions to, for us to use to do justice to this topic. And then my able panel of speakers are going to be addressing those questions. Now, while that is going on, if you have any questions, feel free to use our Q&A button. So if you check, you will see the Q&A button somewhere. If you see it, yes, feel free to use the Q&A button. Members of our team are on ground to provide responses to your questions. Now, if you still have questions that are not answered before the end of our session today, we would address them in the general Q&A session of this particular webinar. But before we go, because we have some nice things to give out. So, but before we proceed, let's just have a quick trivia. For those of us that came early, let's have a quick trivia. Yeah. So we're going to launch this. eBanqo marketing team just whispered to me that they have a couple of goodie bags to give out. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on the goodie bags. So I'll be launching this trivia right now. We will give out eBanqo marketing. Let me hear you clearly. Okay, yes, okay. They'll give out 5 bags, 5 goodie bags to the fastest most correct finger. So like speed and accuracy, answer correctly, and then submit quickly. The first 5 correct answers to get it correctly once I launch, it will be those that we get. So they will reach out to you once you win. We'll let you know, and then they'll reach out to you. If you are an eBanqo staff on the call, please don't bother. In the trigger. This is not for you. This is for again. So here we go. I have exactly 2 minutes for this, or less actually. Let's go. So the clock is ticking. I don't have any. Let me be sure that people can actually see this. Can you see? Are we seeing? Okay, yeah, people are seeing. Okay, okay, cool. So we have exactly 5 minutes. So as many people as can participate as, we have 5 goodie bags to give out. So please feel free. Okay, we have 1 more minute. And we have 10 people so far. 1 more minute. 30 seconds to go. Oh, okay, we are counting down 30 seconds. And we have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Thank you very much for the entire 32 people that took part in our trivia. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. We will read out the results at the end, or we'll reach out to you. We have your registration email. We'll reach out to you to let you know that you are one of our top 5 winners. All right, so let's get this show on the road. Okay. All right. So let's start why we're here. Our topic says mastering eBanqo's inbox, tips and tricks for handling chats and email and the likes. But before we delve into the tips and tricks, let's clearly understand what is inbox. I will call Joshua. You want to take that question for me? What is inbox?
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right. So Inbox is actually a model that we've designed to kind of like help businesses to not miss an engagement from their customers, right?
Okay.
So you could say that it's a model that has the history of all their chats, and then on top of that, you have like superpowers of doing extra things on the model called Inbox.
Awesome.
Yeah, so the inbox actually has some key features that we think would actually help businesses not to miss their engagement from users.
Okay.
So we have things like can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Josh. Go ahead.
Right. So yeah, so we have things like status management, helping businesses kind of like track engagement as a ticket. So when a customer reached out to you, you kind of like have like a status assigned to every engagement, and you can track them, and you can know if the customer is actually trying to reach out to you to solve a problem.
Okay.
You can know the status of the problem. You can update the status manually by yourself. And also the system also does that for you automatically.
Okay.
You can also create tickets, right? So let's assume that a customer is actually reaching out to you outside of your platforms, like your social media platform and all that. So you can also create a ticket. And then the essence of a ticket is actually to help you, track issues and also get them to resolution. And then we also added email management. So
Wow.
you can reach out to your customers via mails. They can send you mails. You can respond from the inbox module. And then because the essence of eBanqo is to help you resolve your customers' issues faster, so sometimes you might need to want to do an investigation to an issue. So we added an advanced filtering system where you can filter, chats and tickets by different things, and then you can actually get to the root of the problem and also resolve it for your customer. Yeah, so that's like what Inbox is all about. So on the screen, you can see like the UI that we have for Inbox. So you can
Yeah.
see that there are chats from users from different platforms,
Okay.
and this is an email. So you can actually respond to this email. You can change the ownership of this email to another colleague. So let's assume that you have like a customer service team, right? And you want to assign engagements to different people in the team. So you can do that also on Inbox. And so aside that, I'm going to show you the advanced featuring screen.
Okay, Joshua, before you go to advanced filtering screen, let's hold up here a little bit. I have like one or two questions to layer on top of what you said. So you said something. So first of all, let me be sure that I get this clear. Now, this Inbox is a model that holds all the engagements that
Yeah,
happens between a client or between a business and its customers all in one place. So whether it is from a
customers.
chat,
Yeah,
yeah. So whether it's from a chat platform, which I know that eBanqo is predominantly known for, championing that chat should be a
yeah,
customer engagement tool. So whether it's chat or email, I hope I got that correctly. That's what you said. So
yeah,
is that
yeah.
what you
You're
said?
correct. You're
Okay.
correct.
So we're saying that now. So whether you are chatting with a customer on Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and the likes, or you are receiving an email, like, maybe about a complaint, about an inquiry, about a sale, you can now manage all that
Yeah.
within the inbox model within eBanqo.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, you
Awesome.
can do that. You can do
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Also, yeah. You said something really key, and I also like to, I would like to address that really quickly. One, you said something about status management, right? And then on the screen right now, I can
Yeah.
see something called outside SLE. How does this, beside the email icon, how does this relate, or how is the status management connected with the SLE and the likes? And exactly what is this SLE that we're even looking at?
Okay, so normally when a customer reach out to like a business, right? So we kind of like help the business create like a ticket automatically for that engagement, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then for that engagement, we have like different um, status for that could actually like the life cycle of a ticket. We have like different statuses um, for that. Yeah. So we have like pending, we have like unresolved, and then you can manually change this status from, you can see on the screen, you have something like unresolved. So you can change that to like resolved, right? So talking about SLA, so as a business, there are places, there are like will I say, like a standard issue resolution time for a business, right? So we have a place where you can set this.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say for instance, yeah, so let's say for instance, you have like maybe 5 hours, right? And that is like your SLA time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
with that, you can see that, oh, this ticket is actually outside, our SLA, our defined SLA time, and
Mm.
within and stuff like that. So that's what it really is.
Okay, so I'm going to pull Charles into this conversation somehow, because I have a feeling that he probably deals with this a lot. Um, so Charles, anything else you would like to add to this? Because from what Joshua said, it kind of feels like there's a direct correlation between the SLE and the status management, right? So anything else you want to add? I got that from what he said.
Yeah, I mean, it's spot on, right? So, and you're very correct. There is a direct relationship with between the status and the SLA, right? So again, from the way Joshua opened his conversation, right? The goal is that the business do not miss any interaction, right? So
Yeah.
the status of SLA helps businesses to achieve that, right?
Yeah.
So when the system has the ability to configure what we call priority levels on the platform,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when you configure priority levels on the platform for different engagement for different channels, right? So depending on those priority levels, you can assign different SLAs timeline for when a particular issue should be resolved or dealt with, right?
Yeah.
So what the system helps you achieve in Inbox is based on those engagement. Josh also mentioned that now you now have tickets, all your engagement are now tickets on the platform that you can access in Inbox, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the system now helps you not to miss those engagements, right? So
Right.
the system checks the status against the priority level that has been assigned to such conversation,
Okay.
and it will use it against the defined timeline or defined SLA, and it sends reminders based on that. So again, it
Gotcha.
ties back the objective of you not missing
The
any
status
interaction.
management. Yes, yes. Awesome. So, Charles, just trying to simplify what you just said, right? So the SLA actually somehow ensures that the status management actually progresses across the different categories that we have within the platform, right?
That is
Okay,
correct.
cool.
Yeah.
And then the system automatically let me say moves the issue across different stages that's already been set, provided an engagement has happened with the customer from the point when the conversation started up until the end. And then it now uses the preset SLA to guide the movement across those various stages.
Yeah. So that's what really happens. That is what the status management does, right? So the
Okay.
system automatically assigns status based on the stage of the conversation,
Awesome,
right?
awesome,
So
awesome,
it
awesome.
starts from the conversation being new. It doesn't matter if the conversation is with a bot, if you have a bot, or if the conversation is with an agent, right? So
Hmm.
every conversation, so from the screen, we could see some conversations having unread, unresolved, some can be
Yeah, we can
pending.
say that. Yes.
Exactly. So the platform already helps you assign those statuses based on how the conversation is evolving, right?
Okay. All
And
right.
if for any reason you're not able to move because like we said, based on how the engagement is moving, either with the bot or with the agent, right?
Yeah.
So if you're able to move that conversation to completion, whether to resolved or closed, right?
Yeah.
The system sends reminders based on whatever priority or SLA that you've set.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Joshua. Joshua, you are going to take us. I just wanted to hold you there and maybe delve a little bit more. It's quite clear now. Yeah. All right. You're talking about your advanced filtering. Uh, sorry,
Yeah, so I
just
was
before
talking
you go
about,
further, let me do a quick announcement. So I see a couple of hands raised. So for our very dear audience, you have the Q&A button, or you should have it on your screen. Feel free to just go and use the Q&A button. Just click on the Q&A, drop your question, and then someone will either answer you or they'll collate it and we'll address it when we get to the Q&A session towards the end of the webinar. Thank you. All right, go ahead.
all right. So yeah, I was talking about advanced filtering. So let's assume that there is like a problem for like a client is actually, your customer is actually facing the problem, and it was something that you treated before, and you really want to kind of like see the root of the problem, because the guy is coming back, for probably the same problem, right? So you want to like investigate and stuff like that. So using our advanced filtering system, you can filter based on ticket ID, because every chat and every engagement is supposed to be, a ticket. So you have ticket ID for every engagement. So you can search with that. And then you can search with the customer's name, the customer's ID, and like pretty much everything that can help you to get to the root of the problem, right? So that is what the advanced filtering feature that we have on Inbox is all about.
Okay.
So yeah, because we said that with all your platforms, customers can actually reach out to you, right?
Mhm.
From
Yeah.
Instagram, web chats, just all the social media platforms that you have. Now
Yeah.
there are cases where a customer might not use these platforms, right? And
Okay.
they might probably call you, and you also want to record that, you want to track, you want to be able to record that engagement and also have like a tracking for it, right?
Yeah.
So we also give you that ability for you to create a ticket manually. So you
Okay.
can enter your customer's name, the
Okay.
status of which you want to track the initial status of the ticket, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then you can also assign, that issue to somebody in your team. You can
Mm-hmm.
tag it and add, description, and also set the priority level that we talked about, that Charles just explained to us. So that's what the ticket creation is all about on the inbox model.
So let me get this straight, Joshua. So what you're saying here is that within this inbox model, every interaction that happens with the business can be managed, whether it came into the platform or it was a conversation that happened outside. You can actually use the setup that you have
Yes,
within inbox model to manage your customer interactions.
yes,
That's
yes,
awesome.
yes, you can do that.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you for doing justice. Now that we've actually, we've created a view of exactly what inbox is like. Let me pull Charles in here. I would like to ask, um, so how do conversations happen, or how do businesses manage conversations within inbox? I know that for businesses that are already on eBanqo, they're probably familiar with, having live chat, the live chat capabilities, and having our chat um, options on the within the platform. But how does this work now within inbox? Layering on top of what Joshua said, that all interactions now happen within, whether you're chatting, you're sending email, or you're just even trying to note a complaint that came from a call, you're noting them as a ticket. How does this happen now within inbox?
All right, thank you. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right, thanks. So, I think one of the good things about the platform that Joshua mentioned, especially for inbox, is all your interactions are now in inbox, right? And he also mentioned email, right? So,
Yeah.
most of our clients now, they're very, very used to what they have in chat history. So, chat history, you have all your chat interactions and all. So, another good thing that Joshua mentioned that I like is he described inbox as chat history with superpowers, right?
Yes.
So yeah, yeah. So inbox is just like chat history now, but with a lot more things that you can do with your conversations, right? So inbox is it houses all your interactions across all the channels that you have connected, right? The
Yeah.
good thing now is you can now even connect your emails, right? And then you can have all your interactions from there in inbox. And beyond just having all your interactions, something that you don't have in chat history is those attributes, right? So now all your engagement now have ticket ID, for example, that you can use to track those engagements. So one of the things that Joshua mentioned that also helps in managing conversation is the status of each of those conversations, and then even priority level like SLA and all, right? So from within this inbox, you're able to track all your engagement, you're able to resolve all your engagement, you're able to even track them to the point of closing the issue. And from this inbox as well, you'll be able to view past or open issues that the customer has complained about, right? So let's say you're viewing a customer, you're viewing a contact, you're viewing a particular issue that was reported by a customer on WhatsApp, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in inbox, you will be able to see past conversations that we can call tickets, even
Okay.
from email, for example,
Okay.
right? Imagine when Joshua was speaking, he was speaking about creating a ticket. So let's say that particular conversation happened outside the platform and you created that ticket against that customer, right? So, and
Right.
this customer came to you from your Instagram DM, right?
Yeah.
So you was also to able to see that conversation, even though it happened outside your platform, but because you have now created it, right? So from
Really.
inbox, you be see past or open tickets for that particular customer.
Okay.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
other good thing about it is that so by the time you have reviewed, so Joshua spoke a lot about how you can use filter and you can, just basically track your engagement to completion, right? So the other thing that you can do in inbox is that by the time you review the conversation or by the time you review your engagement, you'll be able to either get back to the customer using the broadcast feature, or you can even request for a chat if, for example, if you need additional information to resolve the customer's issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
So request for a chat with a customer. Imagine a customer come to you from WhatsApp, for example, and drop an issue, right?
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
you can request for a chat from that customer, and the customer receives that request on WhatsApp, for example, and they'll be able to join a chat with you for you to
Interesting.
follow up with the
So more or less, just like, maybe I want to come, I want to chat with my friend, right? Like I'm just having a chat engagement. A customer can come drop an issue. In fact, let's even deviate. Let's move away from issues. It mustn't be issues all the time. A customer can, see like an opportunity with your business and want something that's like a service. It could be a sale. It could be a purchase. You can actually, what you're saying, Charles, is that the customer can
yeah.
actually drop an inquiry and you on your own can initiate an engagement that can pull the customer into a conversation.
Exactly. You say, I like that example, right? So it could be a sales discussion,
Yeah.
right? And you say, oh, yeah, I mean, you can send a message to the customer, or you can even initiate a chat with the customer for you to close.
Okay.
Close.
All right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Like really, like Charles said, this Charles, not Charles, Joshua said, it's really chat history with superpowers.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Charles. I think I've had enough of you. Let me speak to. But okay, now just before I let you go, um,
Okay.
particularly I know that predominantly the foundation of our platform was positioning chats as a customer engagement tool, beyond the traditional voice call emails that we're used to. But Joshua said something in his presentation. He talked about centralizing engagement, and then he talked about email being part of it, right? So what we're saying now is the same way we can initiate a chat conversation, Charles, is the same way I can also initiate an email within the platform. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. So, like you said, I mean, the goal is to enable businesses not to miss any interactions, right?
Yeah.
So for now, we've done a lot with chat,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and we think that we've done quite well with chat, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we also think that to fulfill the promise of not missing an engagement, right? We
Mm-hmm.
have outside chats. That was the thought behind bringing in email,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Same way you can engage customers can engage you via chat, right? So
Yeah.
it's the same way that you now have email, right? And once you
Makes
connect it,
sense.
you interact
Yeah.
with your
I, And then it's good that you now have it in the same place. So you don't have to have chat in one place and then email somewhere else in one place. I particularly like, again, I like to emphasize on that superpowers that Joshua said, because what it means is that right now the platform is not only the eBanqo as a platform is not only discarding, the traditional means of customer engagement, but rather we are bringing it into and then optimizing from everything that you and Joshua have said.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. So I know that we are, like you said, we've done a lot with chats and but email sounds like it's new. So I don't think any other person is better to do justice to telling us how we're going to connect email than Alaji. Are you there? I haven't heard your voice.
Hi, IT. Am I audible
Hi.
enough?
Okay. So the guys have told us wonderful things about what you can do on inbox, how you can move one conversation to the other, have everything. And then we know traditionally that we have a seamless one-off integration for connecting the chat channels. But for email, how are we going about that? Can you tell us how a business can connect email to the platform and have it within inbox?
Yeah, I like that you emphasized on the seamless part. So
Yes.
we have also made efforts. We have also made efforts to make sure that the integration of email are also simple. So connecting to email is fairly straightforward. All you need is your email address of your customer service team. Yeah, ideally the email address of the customer service team. Of course, you can always connect for any of your departments that you want. So you have a page like this, and all you have to provide is the email. And once you submit that email, you get an auto-generated email in the step 2, which is carrying the Banco domain.
Okay.
You would have to copy that email. So submitting the email you have and then copying the email that is generated for you is all that is required from here. At the point of getting the auto-generated email, you must have received a verification link in the inbox inside your inbox module.
Okay.
So you get this and you have to just click the link for verification. That's all that is needed from our own end.
Okay.
So before you can add your team members, so they can also be sending emails, you would have to, before you can be receiving emails from our end, you would have to authorize these requests by going to your own email app. So if you give us customer service at eBanqo.com, for instance,
Yeah.
If your email provider is Gmail, you would have to go to the forwarding and POP, something like that in your email, in your Gmail, and then authorize that request by providing the auto-generated email we have given you. You have to just provide it in that forwarding module, and then the authorization takes place from there too, depending on which email provider you are using, be it Outlook or Google. And when that is done, it's also simple. When that is done, you are all set. You're all set. So you start receiving emails from customers. Once they send email to your customer service team, you get it here. So you don't get to miss the email. So you get everything here. As you're dealing with chats, you can also start attending to the emails. My colleagues have spoken a lot about how to do those things and filters and the likes, the benefit that comes with it. But yeah, when that is done, you must also, there are many users that can have access to our platform. So,
yeah.
But we don't by default give access to anyone to respond to emails. Before you can respond to emails, there's also a verification that has to be done. So if you look at your screen, you can see beneath the pop-up, there is send and receive emails, meaning that Quadri at eBanqo.com can receive emails and then send.
Okay.
So a verification process already took place. And Test Squad does not have the right to send emails. So that's that. It is simple here. All you have to do is just click on the verify for sending emails. The guy gets the verification link, he clicks on it, and then he can receive and send emails. But that's, he also, I think that has been spoken about, or it was shown earlier where you saw things. So before a user can have access to emails, he or she must have been added to Teams. So that's what this screen is showing you.
Okay.
You are added, and then you are added to the team. So in an organization, you can have the finance team, you can have the logistics team, you can have different teams like that with their different emails. So even though there is one integration that you have done, that you have set up from eBanqo, you can now create the teams. You can now create the teams and then add different people to their different teams. So they get to see the emails and then respond accordingly.
Awesome. So, so again, just so that I am pretty clear, and I think that that's particularly awesome. When you were taking us through project, I had a private joke inside of me. I was like, truly now we know who the head of engineering has come. The head of engineering is speaking now. So because all these plenty technical things that you're talking about, but let's try to break it down a little bit. Okay. So first and foremost, to have your email set up, we have a module within configurations called the email manager. So you go to set up that email and then connect the default email that you have. So whether it's from a general public domain like the Gmails and the likes, or you have your own private domain. So you do a step-by-step, setup there. Basically, just put in and follow the prompt. That's what you're saying.
Correct. The instructions are there, right?
Exactly. And then you will get a verification within inbox, if I'm correctly, once you've done that setup.
Yes.
So once you verify, then the part that I like the most that you talked about, you come back to email manager and then you create those that should have access.
Correct.
to be able to send and respond. Now, for instance, let's say a particular people should only receive, for instance, who are the kind of people that we don't like to send out. So, okay, for instance, risk people. We don't like risk people too. So let's say you want risk to only be receiving. If there are any risk team members in the house, no offense, I'm just kidding. So let's say you only want risk team to receive. You can set it up such that they're only receiving email notification, and then you want to enable. You can enable those, permissions and restrictions, or are there in place again for the benefit of the business. That's what you said, Kodri, right?
Yeah, on point. Very correct.
All right. Thank you so much. Again, I'll just put Charles in here, just a teeny little bit. Now, I know we operate a personalized account management system for account managers, right? I'm thinking, this is me asking, and so that you can confirm. For businesses that want to set this up, even if, yes, it's a seamless process that you can do by yourself, there will be account managers on ground to handhold businesses that want to set this up if they do want to. That is correct.
Yeah, they're correct. You're very correct.
Okay.
So I want to confidently say that our account managers are very close to their accounts, right? So
I believe so, because I believe so.
yeah, if you need some help connecting it, they're just like a mail or a message
Just
or a
a
call.
buzz, just a ping away. All
Yeah.
right. Okay, cool. Let's move on now that we know that so for those of us that are existing businesses on this call, and you've heard, that's why I like holding Charles, so that he can commit. So he has committed, our head of operations has committed that if you do want to set it up, your account manager is going to be there to handhold you. However, please know that if you also want to take the bold step of initiating it by yourself, it's a seamless process. It's just click, 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 and you are there. All right. Okay. So I will pull Charles back to responding to emails. So typically, how would you respond? So Kodri has, taken us through the process of, telling us, okay, uh, people can be added to a group. Once you're part of a group, you get that email. How do you go about and answer and provide responses when you're on email? And again, the reason why it might seem as if for my speakers, it may seem as if I'm rushing. I'm rushing because right now, just to let you guys know, the Q&A area is filled with questions, like even questions we did not think about. So we need to quickly get there so you can address all those, and because all the questions are quite interesting. So just giving you guys heads up. So Charles, I was asking how to go about, responding once you've been enabled, you have all set up. How do you go about using the
Okay.
response?
Yeah, thank you. So I think the first step is to complete the connection that Quadri just mentioned, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you have to go through that process to complete the configuration. You can do it yourself, but if you need help, you can just reach out to account manager, right? So once you're all set, once you've completed the configuration, then you're basically ready to start receiving emails and responding to the emails. Yeah. So like we mentioned, once you connect your email, then you have your emails coming into inbox. Another thing that Quadri mentioned that is also beautiful is you can connect multiple email addresses, right? So the way we understand, the way we understand it is that you probably have different emails for different purposes. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you could have support, you could have for quality assurance, you could have for finance. And so it
Yeah.
just allows you to bring all your operations into one space, right? And so you'll be able to manage interactions
Mm-hmm.
from a single space. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you connect. Once you connect, you'll be able to now receive and respond. So the other thing also that is also important is to build teams around each of the email addresses that you've connected, right?
Mm-hmm.
So building team around it, like Quadri mentioned, is you now adding the users, your agents, to different teams that you have added to the platform.
Okay.
So just think of it as giving access to giving your users access to the different emails, right? Because
Yeah.
if somebody does not belong to a particular email,
You're not going
right,
to receive the email. Correct. Yeah.
you will not be able to respond. Exactly. So you're not able to respond. So that's another thing. So once you've been able to do all of these things, then you'll be able to respond. And it's very easy. I mean, if you can see the screen, it's exactly like you have if you use Outlook or you use Gmail,
Yeah.
right?
And say
It's
yes.
as straightforward as using Outlook. I mean, the only additional thing that you now have here is you can now tag, you can now add notes that helps you collaborate better. You can add notes to a conversation, you can tag the conversation, you can now have all those superpowers that you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
Of having the priority levels, the reminders,
Mm-hmm.
um, tags. You can filter based on tag. Oh, I want to see all this kind of conversation based on the tags that you've created. You can filter, you can do all those things, right? So
Yeah.
essentially, in terms of responding to email, is that simple as like you're using your Gmail, right?
Mm-hmm.
So another thing that I'd like to mention is if you come to your inbox, right, you might see a view that is different, right?
Okay.
So yeah, so our goal again is to help businesses not miss an interaction, right?
Gotcha.
So
Yes.
you come to the inbox, you might see by default, you might see a table,
Mm-hmm.
right? That gives the view of all your engagements within a period, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
what that view helps you to do is to easily track, right? You can see all the important ticket information like the name, the ticket name, the contact name, the date created, and all those things, right? That
Mm-hmm.
view does really allow you to respond to emails if you have email. Basically, it just gives you a snapshot of, oh, these are the
Interaction.
conversations
Yeah.
and interactions you have. Now, but if you now have emails and chat that you want to react to, all you need to do
Mm-hmm.
is just switch the view, then you have this view that's
Oh, I can see the switch the view here on your screen. Okay. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So this view now allows you to interact or respond,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So once you have this view, it's not different from whatever view that you're used to in Outlook or the view that you're used to in Gmail or any other popular email app that you use.
I get that. I get that. So that's quite clear. So that's really something, Charles. So when you go into inbox, it gives you a clear view of the status of all the interactions that you had over a default period of time, and then to take a step further to either address an integration, or you have to sorry, an interaction. All you have to do is just switch the view. So, for instance, if you saw something that was maybe outside SLA, you can switch the view and address why it is outside SLA.
Yeah. So the platform makes it easy, right? You can,
Yeah.
if you switch the view, right,
Mhm.
it will retain that view until you're ready to go back to the other view. And the good thing is,
Interesting.
yeah, the good thing is all the information that you have on the other view is also here, right?
Got
The
you.
only difference, yeah, the only difference is so on the other view, you have your ticket information, you have the
Mhm.
conversation, the ticket name, the
Mhm.
owner, the status, the priority level, the date, all those things, right? The same thing are available here,
Yeah.
right? You
Mhm.
would see status, you would see the priority level, you would see the owner. From this same view, you can add tags, you can add notes, you can view contact information and all those things, right?
Yeah.
The only difference is that in the old view, it just gives you a snapshot of
Everything.
visa session. Yeah. On this view, it gives you all this information, but it now allows you to react to or respond to your email interactions.
All right. Awesome. 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 Okay. So I was going to ask you about ticketing and tracking and reviewing the tickets. But Charles, I guess you already kind of touched that in answering your last question. So I'll just ask, so for for tickets that have for tickets within the inbox today, and how do I follow up on things like I want to know who attended to it, who initiated, who started, who owned it. Can I merge the tickets? When it's resolved, does it go off? Those kind of those. If you could just quickly talk about that really quickly.
Yeah. So in tickets, yeah, you can manage all of these things, right?
Okay.
So answer critical questions that you have, yes, you can merge, right? So imagine you're reviewing a ticket and you realize that. So, one of I'm not sure if I was one that mentioned it, that when you're reviewing a particular conversation from a contact, right? The platform also allows you to view past tickets, maybe open ticket, right? And you realize
it was mentioned.
This customer is talking about the same thing, right? So from there, you can actually merge those engagements. So the other good around tracking your issues, of course. So you can reach out back to the customer upon when an issue is resolved. So another thing that we mentioned, also, if you need additional information from the customer, you can request a chat. I think one of the questions that you asked is to see who owns or
who owns, or who started the
you can see the owner.
conversation.
Yeah, exactly. So from the screen, you can see the owner here is the agent that chatted with the customer, right?
Yes.
Exactly. So, but you have, as the admin, you have the ability to reassign the ticket if you need to, right? Assign it. Now, what you're seeing here is the table that we mentioned, but
the view you mentioned, yes.
Exactly, but you have the options to view the messages, to view the notes if there are notes, to view the ticket information, so you can see the actual message, that the interaction with whether with the bot, like we said, this ticket is just created when your customers chatted or chat with your agent, right? It will also be an interaction for businesses that have bots, their bot active, right? It could be an interaction that your customer had successfully with the bot, right? So you would see them there. So the good thing here also is that you'll be able to tell based on the statuses, right? So for conversations that was completely or successfully handled by the bot, you would see such conversation as bot served, right? So because those engagement really didn't make it to your agent, right? It won't have owners, right? Because it was set
by the bots, yes.
By the bot, right? But even at you also have the ability to review the interactions, like
precisely, yes.
Then you can follow up, you can request for a chat, But for
Yes.
interactions that made it to your agent, right? You see this depending on the status of the conversation. You can see it as open, you can see it as pending, or you can see it as whether resolved or unresolved, depending on how you with your agent.
Okay, that's cool. So whether you're bot served or you're human served, you're going into inbox. Just for data privacy sake, I would like to just mention that all data that you have seen that has been displayed in the course of this webinar have all been test data. They are not actual data. They've just been curated for us to use to explain the different aspects of the inbox model to you. They are not real customer data. They are all test data. They don't exist. They don't really exist. And just to let you know that what I'm saying is true, if you take a look at my screen right now, under contact, you see Charles Ademola, Charles Ademola, Charles Ademola, Charles Ademola, Charles Smith. They're all they're all test data. I just thought to mention that. Yeah. All right. So there was something that Joshua said in the course of again, we're coming back to him saying inbox is chat history with superpowers. And one of the superpowers he mentioned silently that I would like to beam the light on a little bit more. He talked about broadcast messaging. Now, I know that broadcast messaging is one of the models we have within our platform that I am particularly very excited about. I really love that model because what it means that, again, I like to use myself as an example. I have businesses that I do that offer services to me. So let me use like banks. They will send me birthday message. I'll probably see it 6 months after because I don't go to my SMSs. But the broadcast messaging is a tool that allows businesses to broadcast to or send messages that either trigger a response from the customer or reach them, particularly in the channel that they've engaged you on, the channels that they prefer. Joshua, you talked about the ability to broadcast now from inbox, and in addition from multiple channels. Can you talk a little bit more about that, please?
All right. So because the goal of our solution is to help you to reach out to customer anywhere and anytime, right?
Okay.
So we also added the ability for you to also reach out to customers outside inbox, right? So when we say
Okay.
outside inbox, today we have like a chat history module in isolation where you can actually see, just the history of your chats and engagement with your customers, right? Can you guys see hear me?
We can. We can.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you can from that module you can also send a message to a customer by just looking at the history of your chat. Probably you're just reviewing the chat of your customers, and you see that, oh, you should have responded or you should have helped the customer better and stuff like that. So from that chat history module you can also send a broadcast message to the user. And again, just like IT said, the customer can also respond back to the business, and you can take that conversation, even further. And aside the inbox, we also have field responses module. So the field responses module is where um, your users are actually chatting to the bot, and the bot is trying to respond to them with different solutions and stuff, right? And they are not satisfied with that. So they've after every interaction with the bot, we kind of like also send a message to kind try to help you to see if the customer is actually satisfied with that interaction with the bot. So if the customer is not satisfied with that interaction, it falls into the field responses model where you can also see a list of all the customers that are not satisfied, with the interaction with the bot, and from there you can also step in to send them a message that can also get them to come back and help them resolve any solution. I mean, problem that they are currently having. On the reporting module, so again, let's assume that um, you're trying to investigate a particular issue, right? You go to the reports module, try to see, okay, how many customers did I chat with this month, right? You try to see all the customers that you chatted with, and probably you're trying to review, your chats with them, maybe for you want to improve, your service, or you want to look at there's a particular issue that you're trying to resolve. So from the reporting module as well, you can, review the chat and also decide to send a message, to this particular customer from that reporting module. So aside inbox, which has everything,
Mm-hmm.
we also try to give you options where you can interact with your customers outside inbox. And these are the modules that we currently have the broadcast messaging in future.
All right. So I'm just going to ask you, Joshua, can you quickly show us, what it looks like broadcasting from chat history, from inbox, from reporting, from real field responses, just so we just know what it looks like. Okay. So this
Okay.
is what exactly?
Yeah, so this is the chat history module, right?
Okay.
So you can see that you have like a list of all your chats and also your particular, like your
Okay.
personalized chats with
Yeah.
your customers, right? So
Okay.
from that, you can see you have like a view to see engagement, your engagement with this particular user so far. You have the bots
Oh,
and
yeah.
also maybe from support as well. So
Yeah.
let's say in the course of trying to view, messages in these sessions, and you see that, oh, we actually didn't solve this particular problem that this customer reached out to us for. You can now go to the menu here that has send broadcast message, and once you click on it, it brings you in a form where you can send the user a message. So this is how we have it for the chat history module.
Okay. Can we see it for, okay, yeah, inbox. Oh, okay, I see. So
So
that's
this
what this arrow
is
looks. Okay.
yeah, exactly. So for
Okay.
inbox, you also have where you can send a message to the user from the inbox module. So you also have the send, broadcast message button. So once you click on it, you're going to get a field where you can send a message to the user.
All right, cool. And fulfilled, okay. This is fulfilled responses.
So this is for field response. So you can see what the customer said and the bot's response. So let's say this is like a user that wasn't really satisfied with the response from the bot, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
try to log all those interactions on this field responses model so that you can have a view of what your bot is responding with, and probably you want to also improve that part of the bot, right?
Mm.
So we also give you an option for you to send a message to this user and try to step in and help them resolve whatever issues that they're having.
Fair.
So that's how it for. And then I talked about
Reporting.
investigating,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, reporting. So we have a reporting model where you can see your engagement, this support sessions that you've had with all your users, right? So let's say there's this particular user that you're trying to review, your engagement with them using this report module. So on this module, you can also view all the messages that you've had with this particular user. You can see there's a view messages option and menu. And then when you've gone through the messages and you feel like, oh, there's a need for you to reach out to this user, instead of going back to the inbox module,
Mm-hmm.
we also give you an option here to send a message directly to this particular user. So
Oh.
that's what it looks like.
All right. That's awesome. So everywhere I go, I can send a message. Everywhere I go. So whether I'm in
Yes.
chat history, I'm in inbox, I'm doing the field
Yeah.
responses from the bots, or I'm just investigating and checking through the sessions that have happened, I can actually engage the customer to investigate further, all within the eBanqo platform. Our goal is to make sure that you have all your
You
interactions
never
in one place and you never miss anything. Thank you, Josh. Thank you very, very much. Okay. All right. So a lot has been said. Thank you to my panel of speakers. Don't go yet. Like I said, you have a mountain load of questions. I'm not about to answer any of those questions. So please don't go yet. But if you're on this call and you have listened to everything that we have said and we have sparked your curiosity in whatever levels, and you would like to know more, or you would like us to come, work with you to integrate the inbox, enable it, have your email and have everything in one place, please feel free to scan the QR code that you are looking at and just answer a few questions, and somebody will be getting back to you today. So please, I'm going to just keep it on for a few minutes. Oh, sorry, not a few minutes, a few seconds. You will see it again, but I just want to catch some people that might just be dropping off by the time we start answering questions. So if you want to answer questions, if you want us to reach out to you, or maybe this is your first time with us, right? And then you want to know much more about what we do, you would like to book a demo to see the entire platform, because all we really talked about today is just a tiny piece of our platform. We didn't touch the parts of things like our different apps. We didn't talk about our integrations. We didn't talk about our wonderful dynamic FAQ that uses AI to respond to you, just like Chat GPT, Copilot, and the likes. We didn't talk about all those other wonderful parts. So if you really want to know much more, you can actually scan the QR code, just answer a few questions, and someone will reach out to you today. All right. Okay. So I hear, aside from all these wonderful things, again to my panel of speakers, I hear a lot of stuff is cooking, is in the cooler. No, it's not in the cooler yet. It's in the oven, baking, still with the banco. Again, with the focus of making sure that customers never miss an interactions. And to borrow Joshua's word, you want to spread the superpowers everywhere in all parts of the platform. So I hear a couple of things that are coming up. So I'd like you guys to give us a sneak peek. So first off, yes, there's something called auto tagging. Joshua, you want to talk to us about auto tagging?
Okay, so auto tagging is like a feature that we've well, I would say we kind of like built, but we're still trying to ensure that it is perfect for our customers. So the feature is just around helping you to tag engagements automatically. So for
Okay.
instance, let's say there uh, you have like different users that are trying to reach out to you as a business, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then there's a particular issue that maybe you have like five users that are trying to reach out to you about different problems, right? And then two actually have the same problem. So to help you segregate, these things in a well, like say formatted order, will help you to auto tag these conversations, right? So like, oh, this guy is actually chatting you because of transfer. This guy is actually reaching out to you because of failed transfer and stuff like that. So we just help you segment these chats to help you more to be more efficient with the way you interact with your users. So that's like a nutshell of what auto tagging is about.
So basically, if I borrow something that you said, is to help us organize conversations better. It will help us organize conversations better. Kodja, I
Yeah.
see that you want to add something to what Joshua said. Please go ahead on auto tagging.
Maybe that was a mistake, but yeah,
But now that I've
I
called
can
you,
add to what Josh.
yes, sir, I've called you, so you
Yeah,
have to add.
it's fine. It's fine. So today we have what we call tags. I'm sure you've seen it in many of the slides that were shown
Yeah,
earlier.
yes, we saw.
We have tags today, and customers are using it. So tags are ways by which conversations are being labeled for
Mm-hmm.
identification, for segmentation and categorization, just
Okay.
like when you tag things to understand what it does. So auto tag is just us saying um, we'll handle it for you, so your agents can focus on what is more important. The way tag works today is that you have to go through that particular conversation, go through it, understand what it says. Some conversations can be as long as 100 lines.
Yeah.
So it is going to be more work for the agents to be tagging those conversations. So we are taking that pen to make you focus on what is more important for you. Typically after 1 hour, our bot is going to go through the conversation and then tag accordingly. Um, However, you have the option to either restrict the bot to maybe pick from the tags you have created. So you can choose not to create any tag. And then using our AI capability, the bot will still tag based on the topics being discussed or based on the issues. So maybe it is logistics, maybe it is failed payments. The bot is going to check for the closest match and then tag that conversation.
Accordingly.
You can also create tags and then say, no, I want the bot to focus on just the tags I have created, which we call exclusive tagging. So you can restrict the bot to just those things, or say, no, I want you to go out of the box and even look for. So if it doesn't match any of what has been created, then the bot is going
Mm-hmm.
to now pick randomly and look for the closest match and then tag those conversations. Maximum of 3 tags, I think. So
Okay.
that's what auto tag does.
Sounds quite interesting. Thank you, Quadri. Thank you, Joshua. I also hear that there's something called sentiment analysis. Charles, you've been quiet, so let me hear you. You want to tell us a little bit about this sentiment analysis?
Okay, yeah. So sentiment analysis is something that we're working on, and we're very excited to release it quite pretty much soon. So like Quadri said about auto tagging, so we've been doing a lot more with AI, right?
Yeah.
So our goal again is to even while we're saying don't miss an interaction and all, we
Mm.
want to make businesses more efficient doing that, right? So
Mm.
that's the idea behind. sentiment analysis. That's the idea behind auto tagging. So sentiment analysis really is we're going to be using artificial intelligence to analyze the interaction, the text of the customer's interaction, and classify it into let me call it emotions, right? Whether it is positive, whether the customer is angry, whether it's just neutral sentiment, right? And the objective here is for businesses to get better at treating customers' issues. So imagine when I don't know if it was Quadri or Joshua, when you were showing, you'd see conversation now being tagged, right? So by the time this is also ready and live, you'd also be able to see, just by that tag, you'd also be able to see the sentiment. And it will call your attention to see whether, oh, this particular conversation, this is an angry customer, right? And to prioritize that conversation, how you want to prioritize it. So that is one of the usefulness of this sentiment analysis. So in a nutshell, it's just helping businesses to better understand the sentiment of their interactions.
And it's an objective assessment, because it's not relying on anybody that is making sure that, okay, I'm trying to, initially I've not treated the customer well, and I'm trying to push the customer into, and then it's also not skewed to maybe just a particular happy people that respond, because typically I think that when people are upset, because we do have the scoring or the rating of your experience with the customers at the end of the chat conversation. So typically, I think that most people that are really, really upset, we're not happy with the interaction, most times will not bother to even rate at all, and they would have just left the conversation, and probably even left the business. I think that this is particularly it's a lovely addition to the bucket once it's live. Alhaji, you want to add to this, or is this another mistake? Is it correct, or is
No. I just wanted to maybe add or
correct
something. So sentiment analysis is not really to do, or what's that thing we called it? So we have sentiment analysis already with our customers, but now we are putting it everywhere in the different modules that we think are necessary. So if you go to our chat module today or inbox module, you would see those sentiments are there. But we are now putting them in the other modules.
Okay, all right, cool. So it's going to touch every part of the model, so that we can have it like a 360 feedback around how the customer was served. Correct? So that means just holding you to that. So even if I have a bot interaction, and then my interaction was completely addressed by the bot, I didn't get to speak to a human, there will be a sentiment analysis for my interactions with the bot.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool.
Absolutely works for the bots.
All right, thank you for adding that. And finally, I hear there's something called post and mentions. This I'm going to allow the spirit to lead. Who wants to tell me about post mentions? Please, what is this? Josh, you seem like you've unmuted your mic.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. I don't mind if all three of you can weigh in, actually.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so as a business, we've been talking about you engaging a customer, and also a customer sending you a message, to try to resolve a problem, or maybe make inquiry about a particular service that you offer. Then there is also a part of where you're being called out on social media, say for delivering an exceptional service to your customer, and they go on their
being dragged. Why are you not
Instagram or
talking about being
Facebook.
dragged? Okay.
Well, we believe that our clients they give good services. So yeah, so you want to people calling you out for your good work, and so we also want to ensure that you have that in our platform, right?
Okay.
Remember, the goal was for you not to miss any engagement,
Interaction.
from
Yeah.
your customer.
Hmm.
Yeah. So when you're being called out on the social media, Instagram, Facebook, and the likes, we also want to help you to see that and also respond, to those comments and call out on Instagram. So that's like in a nutshell what post mention is about.
Awesome. So again, we're expanding our frontiers beyond DMs into any touch point interaction that happens on the social media. So whether you are commented on, we're going to be able to view it within the Banco platform. Correct, Joshua?
Yes, yeah,
All
you're
right.
correct.
Audrey and Charles, anything you want to add to the post and mentions? Oh, sorry, Quadri and Charles. Joshua already spoke. Quadri and Charles, anything you want to add to the post mentions?
I think Joshua was very spot on.
Okay.
Maybe just to emphasize that again, we're on a journey of fulfilling that promise of never miss an interaction, right? So
Mm,
the journey of bringing all your interactions into
a single
one
place.
space, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly where you can. So it's a journey for us, right?
Mm,
And we have email now that we've talked about. Now we have coming posts and mentions where you can now see engagement from your social media posts like Instagram or
hmm.
even Facebook,
Facebook.
and yeah, and you can interact with them. And like we said in inbox, right? Every engagement now they have an ID, right?
Yeah.
So whether you are tracking your chat from WhatsApp, you'll be able to track your mentions, you'll be able to track your posts and
And you track your dragging as well. But on the flip side, let's look at it this way. I think that this will help businesses also address dragons because once one or two people have actually, maybe raised an issue, if you quickly address it and nip it in the bud within the Banco
yeah,
platform, it might not
yeah,
necessarily result in full-time dragging.
exactly. So imagine you're marrying sentiment analysis with mentions. So
Exactly,
you
with
be able to see that
mentions.
this
You
is
would
yeah,
say it. Yes,
that
yes. Awesome
yeah.
stuff. Awesome stuff. All right. I see that's why I like hanging out with these guys. Anytime I hang out with them, they have exceptional things to tell me. So, FYI, to my audience, I call this 3D Banco elders. It's a private joke we all have. And I would like to say big thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Alaji Quadri. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Joshua, for doing justice to our tips, tricks, have navigating, and then even, telling us a little bit about what's coming, what's new, what we should prep for. Now, this is part where I will hold Josh Charles A by the jugular. So these beautiful things that you just mentioned before we enter Q&A, when is it going to be live? Can we get a commitment level?
I mean, one thing that we can be sure of is that I believe everyone is excited and
Yeah, I am
yeah,
excited just hearing about it.
yeah, so we're very eager and we're excited and we're just going to promise that we're working on this and we're going to be releasing it before you even know it. So we're very excited, we're very eager.
Charles, you have career in politics. All right, so let's answer a few questions. Okay. Oh wow. Okay. We have quite a lot of questions. We'll try. Okay, someone answered that. Someone asked what SLA is. Um, Charles, you want to pick that up just so
What's
what is
what
what is
SLA is?
SLA? Yes.
Oh, SLA is service level agreement. So our understanding is that businesses have this with their customers, right? So for
Mhm.
different types of engagement types, right? So
Mm,
I think in the context where we mentioned SLA is we understand that you might have different SLAs for maybe different issue type or
yeah.
different customer type,
Mm,
right?
mm,
So what the platform now is allowing you to do is to, based on how you operate, whether you have different SLAs for different customer types, or you have
okay.
SLAs for different issue type, or even different channel, for example,
Yeah.
or even different team. So let's say
Yeah.
you create something you call refund team or fraud team, right? So, I mean, you would naturally imagine that a fraud case, let's say you create an email and then you have something called fraud. You might want to set, okay, for this particular email, this is the priority level, right? Or this is the SLA that we have for this kind of cases. So you'll be able to set that. So that's what really SLA is in that context.
Okay. So I have two follow-up SLA questions, Charles. So I'm still going to hold you. So I'm going to ask you two together so you can answer them together. All right.
Okay.
So I wish you the best answering this question. It says KG wants to know that can our system send an apology to a customer if an issue has not been resolved within SLA? That's one. And two, if a ticket is outside SLA, can an AI recommend solutions that an agent can use to handle in this case?
Okay. So I'll take the last one first.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So right now, no, but we are making updates. We have an upgrade that is coming soon where we have curated all this and this particular one is actually part of it where AI can now make recommendations even while you are chatting, right? While you're chatting, AI can make recommendations to you from the data sources that you even have on the platform, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, so that's part of the upgrades that we're making. Then the other one is can the send an apology? Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes. Can I send an
yeah,
apology?
yeah, on the platform, there are things that you can configure, right? So customers can get notifications based on their cases, based on the stage of their cases. So these are things that you can configure on the platform. So if this particular person need help, they can talk to the account manager and then we can take a look at it with them.
All right, cool. So Joshua, let me pull you in for this. It says, can I filter based on a channel I'm responding? E.g., can I filter for Instagram chats only? So, you talked about the advanced filter. This is within inbox.
Yeah, yeah, you can filter by channels, like Instagram, Facebook, web chats, and all the platform and channels that we support today. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. Okay. So I can answer this question. So inbox covers both chat connected and email manager. Well, sort of yes, but inbox covers both emails and chat. It holds both together. But for the emails, you have to have done the connection within the email manager first, activated it, gotten the verification, set up your group set up your group emails, assign people to those group emails, and then you would be live, your email would be live on inbox. Alaji Kodri, am I a good student?
Yeah, you 99.9.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, Christy K, I hope that answered your question. Also, there's another question. Okay, so since I have you on mute, let me just have you answer this question. Does broadcast messaging work for email also? And does it also work for SMS?
Oh, okay. So, broadcast message, there's really no point implementing broadcast message for email because email is email. You have it right there to respond, and there's no restrictions to email. So you can as well just respond to the email, and then the customer will get it. So we don't call it broadcast message on our platform, but it does the same thing that broadcast messages do. For the SMS one, we do not have SMS as one of our channels yet, unfortunately. But maybe we can consider that as one of our to-dos.
Okay. All right. So thank you. That's an idea. I know the product team are on this call, so please note what you just heard. Also, no, Quadri, I still have you. I need you to answer this question. Can your chatbot connect with LLM? I'm smiling. Like GPT or DeepSeek to provide richer responses?
Yeah. Today we have that. We have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have that. So we have something called dynamic FAQ in
Mhm.
our system. today on production, so customers they're already enjoying that. So to answer that question straightforwardly, yes.
All
The
right,
integration
cool.
exists.
Okay, so Kritiki also asks, hope broadcast messaging works for SMS. So currently we do not offer SMS on our platform. Reason is that our focus really is, from our initial positioning is to focus on chats, and that's why SMS is not originally part of our broadcast message, because again, we are trying to communicate that a lot of people are moved away from the traditional means of communication, which is SMS, phone calls, or email. So we're embracing chats more. So that's why SMS currently is not part of our channel offering. But if it is SMS that, it's something that is big for you as a business, we're always very open. Feel free. If you are new to us, just reach out to us, give us a buzz, and let's talk. It's nothing that is not possible. It's something that can be done. It's just currently we don't currently offer it, and we don't have any clients that are interested in SMS. So I hope that answers that. I have two more questions.
Sorry,
So
IT.
yeah,
Yeah. The last question you asked me, I just remembered we have a way new users can even test the integration using Bunny on our website.
yes,
I think that is still,
yes.
so
The LLM,
I'm
yes.
guessing whoever asked the question is new to
Mm,
our system. So you can go to eBanqo.com and test that.
yeah.
All you need to do is just supply whatever source of knowledge that you have, maybe a document, maybe a web page. You
Mm.
can provide that to the bot and then see what happens, see the experience.
So the person that asked that question is Kwesike. Kwesike, we're going to particularly look out for your email, and we're going to send you the link to be able to test our own version of ChatGPT and the likes. It's called Bunny. You would experience it. So when we say we have it already, we have it already. So when we're sending you the email, please note Kwesike Nwachukwu Noria, for us to add that link to his email for after this event. Can we send emails to customers that are not on eBanqo? Charles, you want to take that?
Yeah, currently no, right? What you can do today is react to customers' email, right? But that doesn't mean that it's can be done, right? But currently, yeah. But like you said, IT, we have the products team here, so I'm sure they're taking notes.
Yeah, they are taking notes. They are taking notes. Can we send messages to emails that have not chatted with us before? I think it's almost the same. It's almost the same, like what you just asked now, Josh. Charles, it's in the same light.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then the final question. Person is asking, basically, is eBanqo a CRM? eBanqo is more than a CRM. In the words of my brother Joshua E, eBanqo is a CRM on steroids with superpower. All right. So I think that is all the questions we can take for now. We are basically out of schedule, or just slightly behind our time. So we'd like to thank everyone that made it and stayed up to the very end. Thank you so much. Again, big thank you to my speakers, Charles Ademola, our head of operations, Quadri Yusuf Alaji, our head of engineering, and our team lead front end development, Honorable Charles Ediwi. I had to say that, I'm sorry. I'd say that. So please, like I said before, if you are interested in what we have said today, or you would like to know more about us, feel free to scan the QR code, answer a few questions, and someone will get across to you today. If you cannot, you can chat with us on any of our socials. Our bots will take your information and we'll make sure that we get back to you today. And if you still can't do that, please feel free to send us an email on hello@ebanqo.com. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. And do have a lovely rest of your day. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on the neck of the woods that you're joining us from. Bye, everyone.
All right, thank you. Very long.